Guys, what's going on? Oregon Motorcycle back here with another episode. In today's episode, we're doing a little bit of parking lot practice. I'm going to show you 3 maneuvers that will drastically improve your skills on the streets. So first and foremost, guys, I'd like to thank Ryan Clemente. He is the latest person that has helped support the channel through Buy Me a Coffee. If you guys are interested in that, I have a link in the description down below where you guys can participate by buying me a coffee. It's like $3 minimum. A lot of people are buying a lot more than one coffee, and it really goes a long ways. Ryan, I super appreciate it. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. So there's 3 things we're going to practice today, guys, and of course I'm going to save the best for last. But it's nothing technical, and these are really easy exercises to practice. We're not going to get into anything technical where you're going to be dropping your bike or whatever, you know, and this and that. I've dropped my bike on several occasions practicing in the parking lot. So what I want to share with you guys today are 3 simple basic exercises that they're fun, and they're not hard, they're not strenuous, they're not stressful, and they will dramatically improve your skills on the street. And I'm not a safety instructor, I'm not a motorcycle instructor. I have been riding for quite a bit of time, and you know, I'm sharing my personal experiences with you. You know, just finding out what works. I've done a lot of practice in parking lots, as some of you guys know, but these 3 things I'm going to share with you guys, like I said, are very easy, they're not stressful, and they will drastically improve your skills. What we're first going to get started with is just a basic turn. I prefer to do a figure 8 instead of an oval. If you do a figure 8, sometimes if your oval gets tight, you tend to get dizzy, and then you have problems keeping your head straight and all that good stuff. So I like to do a figure 8. Not only that does the figure 8 not get you dizzy, it's 50-50 practice. So it's 50% right hand turns and 50% left hand turns. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, so you can kind of make up, you know, something in your head, or you can use lines. I'm going to use these 2 poles right here, and we're simply just going to start going around the poles like this, okay, in a figure 8 fashion. And see, the great thing about this practice is you know, you're doing this at your own pace. There's not a set size or standard. If you guys want to tighten it up or loosen it up, you know, that's on you. A couple things that I'm going to tell you guys that you always want to practice is your head position. So if you watch my head, you know, I'm always looking to where I want the motorcycle to go. And that's a really big, important thing that a lot of new riders don't do, is move their head as much as they need to. So you guys want to twist that neck as much as you can, because it's I can't explain it, but I know it works. Wherever your head is pointed and looking, that's pretty much where the bike's going to go in almost every situation. So, you know, as you can see here, I'm just leisurely turning the bike. And you guys, honestly, you can do this all day and improve your skills. This exercise right here will greatly benefit you going through intersections and turning at intersections, especially left-hand turns. They're a little bit more wider and at higher speed, say it's like 20 miles an hour. Right now we're going about 15 miles an hour, and just doing this leisurely in 2nd gear. Now the thing that you can do is you can speed it up a little bit and start throwing your body position in there, okay? You can start hanging off a little bit and practicing that body position. And like I said, these exercises that I'm going to share with you guys today are great because you can work up to them, you know, at your own pace. And that's the beauty of it. It's all at your own pace, all at your own comfort level, and little by little you just improve your skills. And you can feel the bike lean over, you can feel the tires scoot a little bit sometimes on the pavement, on the painted surfaces. And yeah, this is good. You don't have a fear of a car running into you out here in the parking lot. And if you do lay the bike over, you're not going to crash into somebody or something like that. The other thing you can start doing with this practice too is speeding up and slowing down with your brake and throttle. And you can actually introduce trail braking into this exercise. This little figure 8 pattern I have here is it's a little tight to practice trail braking, but you could do it, or you could just expand the figure 8 out more. So again, guys, practice just your turning. There's nothing special here. The only thing I'm asking you guys to do is just keep your head turned in the direction you want the motorcycle to go, and that's all you really need to do. You don't need to worry about weight distribution or body position or anything. That's something that you guys can slowly introduce and practice at your own pace. You see, that's what makes these exercises so fun and not stressful, is you're doing all this at your own pace and just adding a little bit more as you get more comfortable. All right, guys, our next practice is real simple. It's just gonna, I don't know, I guess you could call it the weave practice or whatever. We're gonna weave back and forth, and hopefully you guys can see here, we got some dots here. I'm actually at a training course set up. As you guys can see, there's lines and marks and everything here, so we're going to use these to our advantage. If not, you guys can get some sidewalk chalk and do this with sidewalk chalk. And these are spaced, say, roughly, you know, 5 feet apart, and they're kind of spaced different or whatever. But what you want to do is you want to maybe stagger them a little bit, and you just got to make an X. So let's make an X here. We'll make another X here. Something like that. Now you guys can make these tighter, and you know, the tighter you get them and the further they're spaced, the harder this exercise is going to be, and the longer they're spaced and the more, breathing hard, the more they're in line, the easier it's going to be for you. So like I said, do this at your own pace. This is a really fun exercise to do, and it's going to drastically improve your balancing skills. So let's check it out. All right, so what we're going to do here, just going to go real slow, and you're going to be working that clutch. Now I may have spaced these a little too far apart. It's going to be a little hard here. Yeah, I did. Oops. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll use, I just did that free-handed. I didn't do it with the tape measure. So let's see what we can do. We can use all kinds of dots on the road now. Let's just use these for now, straight down the middle. So I'm just going to weave back and forth. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of looking straight forward, okay? And I'm just kind of working the clutch, not really hitting the brake, but just working the clutch for your speed. So you can kind of maintain your throttle at, like, I mean, honestly, you could just do this at an idle. You know, you don't really have to give it throttle, but work that clutch back and forth, and that'll maintain your speed. And this is a really fun exercise. I just spaced these too far apart, so I'm just using the regular ones. What this exercise is going to do is going to increase your balance skills on the motorcycle, because you can really feel how the bike is going back and forth balancing. So I'm just going to take these here, and these aren't exactly spaced out correctly, so I'm kind of cheating here, but you guys get the idea. Highly recommend this maneuver. It's fun. One other thing, if you guys don't have sidewalk chalk or there's no markings, you can use these parking stalls. So right on the end of the parking stalls, you can go back and forth like this, see? So I'm just pretending that the very end of the paint line would be a cone or my mark, and this is excellent right here. You don't have to set up anything, and the spacing is pretty good. Woohoo! So you can see here, great exercise for balancing. All right, guys, the next time we're going to practice is stopping. This is the most important practice, I think, that every new rider and every skilled rider should practice on a regular basis. This is going to benefit you on the street by being able to stop before you hit a car. Basically, you see a lot of accidents and a lot of newbie riders. They panic stop and they wash out the front end, or they lock up the back tire and the bike just keeps going, you know. So there's a couple things we're going to practice here on this, and the first thing I want you guys to do is just do some mellow stops. You're going to go from 20 miles an hour, and you know, like I said, we're on a practice parking lot, so it's kind of marked out. I have a spot, but you don't need a spot marked out. You can just be rolling and just hit your brakes. So the first thing we're going to do is use the front brake only, 20 miles an hour, and just kind of squeeze into it gently. And of course, try to downshift and get your bike into first before you put your foot down. According to the instructors, they want you to put this foot down and leave this foot up so you can control the brake with this foot. So I tend to always have a habit of doing this because it's like, but whatever. We're not talking about all the details today. I just want to get you guys used to being able to stop your bike. Now, practice that a while with just your front brake, and then do a couple stops. And again, I don't recommend going over 20 miles an hour for this, but do a couple stops with just using your back brake. You can see how much further that took to stop. And then what you can do is you can combine both of them. Now, if you guys are on a sport bike, honestly, I'm not going to say I recommend anything. On a sport bike, I don't use the back brake because a lot of times your back tire is just skipping and it's not really doing anything. But on a bike like this, it does help a lot. And you know, so practice the differences between using both brakes and then just a front brake and see what you can come up with. But like I said, a lot of times on sport bikes, you know, that back tire's, you know, hovering off the ground, and in some cases when you're stopping, it's off the ground, so it's not going to do anything except kill your engine maybe. So here we have a bike with ABS, and you guys could do a couple different routines back and forth where you just mash it like that, okay? And what that does is it starts skipping the front tire before it loads up the suspension, and that decreases your stopping distance. What you guys want to practice is you guys want to gently squeeze into the brake to get that suspension loaded before you start giving maximum braking pressure. And you guys will see, even on an ABS bike, how that will decrease your stopping distance. Now, I'm not paying attention to my speed right now, so you guys may be saying, oh, well, you stopped faster there or whatever, but see, I kind of just squeezed into that and loaded up the front suspension. So here is some more that you guys can practice with this stopping. Is there's all kinds of variables you can throw in. You can adjust your speed. I like to do stops from between 30 and 40 miles an hour because those are more, you know, real to life stops or panic stops. And the other thing I want you guys to do, especially if you have an ABS bike, is I want you to hit that ABS on the front and get a feel for what that feels like. And what that's going to do two things. It's going to let you know where your limit is, somewhat close to it, especially if you practice it enough. And it's going to show you how much force you can put down on the bike. You know, a lot of people with ABS, they've never locked it up. You know, right there, that was skipping a lot right there on the front. And so they're not aware of that. They're out right on the street, and they don't really know how fast their bike can stop. If you don't have ABS, okay, you can still, and this might be for advanced riders only, but you can still slightly lock that tire up in the front and just let off. I've done it a couple times, and I've got video of my roommate doing it. But overall, what you guys just want to be doing is keep practicing. And if you guys want to set up a little measurement thing like this, you know, you can kind of gauge if you're making improvements or not. But you're going to be able to feel it more, if anything, because you can feel your body being pushed up on the handlebars. So let's do one from 30. Under 25 feet. But again, like I said, this is not the most accurate way because we don't know if I'm hitting the brake exactly at the white triangle. Like I've mentioned in some of my other videos, the most accurate way to gauge stopping distance, it's not stopping distance, it's G-forces, because that's about how much, you know, brake you can lay down. So here we go again. So I'm kind of pushing forward on the bike, but again, what this is doing is, you know, it's letting me feel what the bike can do in a controlled environment and not in an emergency environment. And you know, this is good. It's good muscle memory for you guys to build, to know how you can, you know, hit your brakes in a panic situation. You know, and of course it's more forgiving on an ABS bike, but if you don't have ABS, okay, I kind of just did that without engaging the ABS. I did a little bit on the back, but You know, like they say, practice makes perfect. So this is what I feel is one of the most important things to practice before you guys really get on the street, is practice your stopping skills. That was from about 35, close to it, so oops. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys can go out and practice some of these things. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them down in the comment section below, obviously. You guys can tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. It's all good both ways. If you guys are liking the videos, hit that thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, do me a favor and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I've got a goal kind of set for this year, what I want to hit. Maybe I'll announce that later, but really appreciate the subs and the thumbs up, guys. So until next time, Oregon Motorcycle.